Good morning, guys. So today we're going to do some remedial work on a fuse board, well, a house in Plymouth. Well, when I'd done the electrical installation condition report in the ICR, I believe by just visually looking at it before removing the cover of the consumer unit that, hey, this looks good, this is going to pass. It looks like a modern fuse board, and it all looks to be all tickety-boo. But then it had some dark truths hidden behind the scenes. So once I removed the cover of the consumer unit, I discovered that we had socket circuits tripled up on fuses. So there was one B16 doing 3 radial socket circuits. The test button on the RCBO didn't work no longer. No, probably down to the fact that it's been overly worked. It's running 3 circuits, which was these 3 circuits combined were pretty much all the sockets in the property, barring the kitchen. Also had 3 light circuits on one RCBO as well, so that's not a good sign, because you've got the upstairs, the downstairs, and potentially outside lighting all on one fuse. The miniature circuit breaker, so that's not a good idea neither, so it's going to overwork that B6. So also on top of that, it didn't have any membrane grommet, so you know, like where you protect your cable entries going from the top to the bottom, and even the rear back plate didn't have any grommet protection, so the cables could get abrased on the metalwork over time, which is not a good idea neither. And even the buzz bar, you know, the previous person had cut the buzz bar short, so when quoting to remedial this work, I have now got to quote for an additional buzz bar as well as fuses to make things right. So today I'm going to take you down there. I'm going to show you what I've seen. I'll show you before, and I'll show you during, and obviously after, explain what I'm doing. Keep your eyes out for the grommets that are not there, and let me know your thoughts below. Don't forget to like, comment and subscribe. I'll take you along for the journey. Just a quick one. The electrician in question that fitted this consumer unit is apparently a housing association electrician. You let me know what you think. I don't think this fuse board, in the way it's been wired, or the lack of grommet protection, or the fact that we've got tripled up circuits, screams electrician to me. However, we have to believe that, I suppose, because I can't be sure. What makes this one worse is that the gentleman actually knows the owners quite well. According to them, used to be a friend. He would know that there's young children in this property, so I don't, you know, understand how he can live with himself doing so substandard work, especially for a friend. I mean, you shouldn't do substandard work anyway, but the fact that you know them as well, that just really, that's not good, is it? But anyway, let's take you along for the journey. Let's get to the job, and I'll show you what I see. Well, now we've arrived, and I'm going to show you what I was on about in the van. So we've got no cable entries at the top. We've got nothing at the bottom. Now remember, this is a housing association electrician. I've turned the board off because I'm in the middle of it now. But this RCBO here on the sockets, that does not operate at all. Neither functional testing or operational testing, it doesn't do either. So I'll open the board up and I'll show you what's inside. So at the rear there's no grommet protection, just here that you can see. This chop block here has all of the lighting cables from this fuse and all the socket cables from this fuse going into it, with just a 2.5mm CPC coming out to the MET. This buzz bar here has been chopped short, so we're going to put a new buzz bar in there to accommodate. So what the plan of attack is here is we're going to unwire this board completely and take it off the wall. We're going to install that grommet strip that should have been there. Install the grommet, the Amendment 3 grommet membrane pack from CEF up here and here. Once we've done that, we will then separate the tripled up circuit. So separate these so One will stay on an RCBO at the end. The other 2 circuits will come over here on miniature circuit breakers. You can see there's 3 circuits there. You can't clearly see easily, but there are 3 radials going into this socket fuse, which is an RCBO, residual circuit current breaker. What the plan of attack is to replace the faulty one, and then the other 2 circuits to put them here and here on their own RCBOs to separate them, so that we've got a bit more diversity between circuits. And also we're putting them on 20 amp supplies instead of 16, because they are 2.5mm cables and can take it. And that circuit there in question is actually all the sockets around the property, barring the kitchen. This is the kitchen circuit here, which is more of a modern circuit, but just thought I'd show you the inside before I start. I'm going to start now. I'll bring you back once I've unwired the board. So we've now got it off the wall, and I'll show you what I've done. I've got to rectify some of this because I can't leave it like that. Single insulated cables coming into an enclosure, but I'll put a main switch isolator in, and we've removed the old consumer unit due to no grommets or back grommets being installed. So Milex, and I believe these fire retardant membrane packs you can get from CEF. I've installed one here, one on the side and at the bottom, and at the back I've put a grommet strip there, but holding it in place with some tape for now, because when you push it onto the wall, the cables like to push that off. Although it's in there quite snug, I still don't like taking chances. That's inexperience in me telling me to do that. But yeah, I'll bring you back at the next stage, and we will identify these cables and install them in the correct fashion. A little update: we've put our RCBOs in, we fly leaded them. I've done all the earth connections. I'm going to leave the lights till last because they go through metal conduit, so it's not clear to know which neutral belongs to which line. But I will figure that out when I get the power on, and I'll do some further testing. Just got the cooker circuit and the kitchen ring main, and then we can get this house wired up to the point where they can have sockets. I'll keep you going, follow us along, like, comment, subscribe. Okay, so we've got our power on now, lights have been separated, and the socket rings, well, these are always radials, the 3 socket circuits have now been separated as well, and we have diversity on circuits. So the grommets on the top of the board, plus side entry for the meter tails, and the ones at the bottom, they've all been put in, and the back entry plate as well. Connections have been, any extensions such as the earths when I got here, they are up here behind the board. So it's been a good one. We're all complete. The grommets are installed, the house is now fully safe. We've got our details on there. We had to update the RCD test notice. It was old, it was quarterly, whereas now it's every 6 months. You need to press and hold the test button to ensure it trips. The yellow sticker indicates that we got the old wiring standards, i.e. the black and the red in colours, and we've also got modern brown and blue cables inside the property. This is our sticker saying it's passed today and who we are, and we're registered with NIC, EIC, and we're an approved contractor. The board's been labelled up, so the customer now knows what's going on with which and where things lie. Just a quick recap: we had 3 cables going into one fuse over here this morning, and the RCBO, the residual current breaker with overcurrent protection, failed on this one, and so we had to replace that one nonetheless. But while we did that, to separate the socket circuits, we installed 2 extra RCBOs. We also kept the old RCBO for the light circuits, but took 2 circuits out of it because there was 3 in there this morning, and we moved the other 2 over here onto miniature circuit breakers, which is fine. So now the board is fully loaded up, but it's safe for continued use. And we've got the grommets that we were talking about this morning, top, bottom, and plus the side for the meter tails. I'm not sure how good you can see that, and also the one at the rear. So That's a good job all round. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. Includes the video of me repairing the work done by a housing association electrician. So, you know, now the homeowner can sell their property knowing that it is at a good standard and feel confident in that. They'll get a valid electrical certificate. The next video will be an Omi Home Pro EV charger, and it's an interesting one where we have to take a cable around the property 30 metre in length in SWA, and we have to bury the cable, and we show you how we do that. You can only bury steel wire armour cable SWA, that meets the wiring standards. But until the next video, ladies and gentlemen, bye for now.